Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tekno Talks here. So in today's video, we're going to be checking out a case by Spigen for the OnePlus 10 Pro. So in front of us today, we have the Tough Armor case for the OnePlus 10 Pro. And if you guys don't know already, the Tough Armor series from Spigen is definitely one of my favorite cases by them. I've used it on a lot of my devices. Basically, all of my phones have a Tough Armor case, even when I'm not using it, as I like it the most from all of the cases they make. So let's go ahead and begin. The box and the packaging, very simple, very minimal, and really easy to understand. Spigen logo up top, and then we also get a nice little image of what the case looks like, plus a description of what device it's for. And then on the bottom, it says made in South Korea, plus we get the color name. So if you do get a different color, it'll give the name of a different color, and it'll have a different accent color that will be printed on it right there. So in the back, there isn't anything else. So let's go ahead and begin. Really easy to unbox, just a pull tab up here, pull it up, take out the case in this plastic pouch, and here we have our case. So again, this right here is the Spigen Tough Armor case. So quickly, before I actually plop it on to the device, I'd like to say why I like it the most, and the main reason for that is going to be the kickstand, plus how well it protects your device. So I've used it on a lot of my devices, and during those 3 or 4 years of using this case, all of those devices that have been in this case have been perfectly fine, and I've never cracked any of my displays or the back or had any damage done to the camera lenses when using this case. Plus, with the kickstand, I am able to, let's say when I'm eating cereal, when I'm on the table eating some food, I'm able to just plop it up and watch something without having to plop it up against something else or holding it up with one of my hands. So usability wise, it's one of my favorite cases. Plus, it does protect your phone the best out of all of these Spigen case lineups. So let's go ahead and plop this onto our volcanic black OnePlus 10 Pro. As you can see, it's a really beautiful color. I've loved it. It's probably my favorite color out of all the phones I have had so far, but we're gonna have to cover it up with this case since I don't want to damage this phone. So let's go ahead and plop it in. Also, on the inside, we have this yellow foam. So this was actually implemented like a year ago. Before this, they didn't have that, but this is just for some extra protection. And again, as always, Spigen has their air pockets on every corner of the case, so you get some extra protection with that. So let's go ahead and plop this on, and boom. So that's all it takes. Really easy to put on. Let me go ahead and wipe the display real quick. It is a little dusty, and I do have some fingerprints on there. And boom. So really nice case. Looks pretty minimal, looks really nice. Very minimal branding, which is something I love when case companies don't really have their brand all over the case. We have a nice little Spigen name right there with the logo on the very left of it. And then it also says Tough Armor on the right bottom side. So you don't even notice these at all when using the case, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and start out with the cutouts. Again, we have our mute switch cutout. So something I love about OnePlus phones and iPhones in general, when they have this mute switch. It's really nice and functional. I do use it a lot. I am able to access it quickly and easily. It has a nice little cutout, which will perfectly fit your thumb inside, so you're able to use it easily, which won't cause you any issues. On the bottom, we have our speaker grill cutout, and then we also have our charging port cutout, plus a nice little microphone cutout right there. On the side, we do have our buttons right there. I will get to those in a little bit. And then we also have a microphone cutout up top. So all the cutouts fit perfectly, which is pretty obvious. That is something you should be expecting from a phone case when you're using it. So let's go ahead and test out the buttons. The buttons are one of the most important parts of a case, in my opinion. Some cases, when you're using the phone, the buttons are a little harder to press once you plop the case on, especially with a case that is a little thicker, like the Tough Armor, and that's why I always do these tests on all of my case videos. So let's go ahead and start with the power button side. It does indicate that it is the power button right there. It just says PWR, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and click it. And I'm basically applying no extra force, even with a case that is this thick, and I'm easily able to press all of the buttons. And then on the volume side, so the plus and the minus, very clicky and easy to click as well. So no extra force is being applied. It's very similar to when you're using it without a case on there. So let's go ahead and get on to the camera cutout. Again, the camera is another design aspect I really love of the OnePlus 10 Pro, and it displays it perfectly. So it doesn't cover it up, it doesn't cover the insides and just leaves the lens open. you're able to see the whole camera cutout and the camera layout, and you still get the extra protection. So the case is flat on its back, so no rocking. You won't have any rocking issues. Also, the camera is being protected by the case as it is a little higher than the camera lenses. So if you do drop it on its back, then you won't be having any issues. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You won't be cracking your lenses. Now let's get to the front. So the OnePlus 10 Pro and a lot of Android devices, a lot of premium Android devices, they usually add this curve on the display. I really love it. It looks really nice, but when you're using it and protection wise, it is not the best. I actually cracked my S10 Plus display, which also had an edge display, and the main reason for that was because of the edge display. Usually cases can't really be made perfectly to fit those without actually covering up the whole edge, and there wouldn't be a point to having that edge if they did do that. So with the Spigen Tough Armor case, we do get some protection on the top and bottom, so we have a nice little lip. So if you do drop it on its front, then you should be fine. But with the edges, they've actually done a pretty good job. So on the edges, as you can see, it is almost in the same level as the display. So if you do drop it, you might be a little lucky. Plus, you do have the bottom and the front lip, which will give some extra protection. So you really won't be able to crack the edges. But again, as I said, case companies really can't do much about it as the device has a edge display. So let's go ahead and move on to our speaker cutout. It is a really large cutout, and as you can see, our speaker grill is right there. So no loss in sound. You won't be losing out on any of the sound quality, which is again a really nice thing. Overall, in the hand, I am really loving it. It actually is a thick case in general, but it doesn't really add too much to it. It doesn't feel bulky in the hand, and it feels really easy to use. I'm not having any issues with it. I can swipe perfectly, and it doesn't block any of the movements and touches that I do on this case. So that is basically about it. So this case again is one of my favorite cases by Spigen. But before I wrap this video up, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the kickstand that we get. So it's a nice little kickstand. Once you do actually take it out the clip, it is flimsy. It doesn't have this special magnetic clip on it, but when you do place it in its place, it'll stay there. The one I had on my S10e, I used it for around like 2.5 years, and the kickstand still works and functions perfectly. So once you take it out, you're able to leave it in two ways. So this, like so, is almost a 90-degree angle. So if you're laying in bed or if you're laying down somewhere, you could just place it in front of you and you'll be able to watch whatever you want. And then when you're sitting on a table and you want to watch something, you can leave it at this angle. So it's like a 30-degree angle. So if you're eating something, this is going to be the perfect way to watch something on your phone while you're eating or doing something else. Again, that is one of the main reasons why I really love this case. The kickstand is just really functional and easy to use. Plus, you get the most protection out of this Spigen case compared to the other ones. So again, that'll basically wrap it up for this video. I will be leaving a link down below. And if you enjoyed this video, giving a like and subscribing will definitely help me out a lot. And see y'all in the next video.